All media platforms are engaged.
Copy. Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV.
To be able to meet people from different countries enriches our lives.
Wayne County gave me so much, my degree, who I am.
The college supports you to grow. They have the different campuses. I'm like, I can try this. Makrit Shunga, Ethiopia.
Sandra Gonzalez, Mexico.
Arminalda Carrick, Bosnia.
Javed Khan, Bangladesh. Go to Wayne County. They will find your path and you will know what to do next.
You've seen him on the red carpet, you've seen him on the sidelines, you've seen him on the stage. The hottest looks in urban fashion from the biggest name in urban fashion, Van Dykes. Now pick out 3, pay for 1. 3 suits for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road. You've seen him at the clubs, you've seen him in the boardroom, you've seen him on the pulpit. Now get them at Van Dykes. 3 suits for 1. Suits for the workplace, for the club scene, to be seen in. Pick out 3, pay for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road.
There is not another culinary or hospitality academy located in the city of Detroit.
There's a lot of people teaching culinary arts, but they're not teaching the business side of it.
We're opening up another kitchen for the Cleary Culinary Academy. We're going to bring a Cleary mind to every kitchen in downtown Detroit.
But when we talk about a Cleary mind, we're talking about a student that can make a definite impact.
We want to be a part of all the wonderful food establishments, restaurants, and the food scene in general in downtown Detroit.
And once again, Jim Holley with you on this Saturday morning. We thank God for each and every one of you. We want to remind you that the day will be about 85 degrees for the high today. We've got some spotty rain in the forecast around 2 or 3 o'clock, and so basically that's where it's been identified. Right now we're at about 73 degrees in downtown Detroit. Got some rain coming in tomorrow, and I understand it's not going to be a washout, but there's rain starting in the morning. And so but it's 81 degrees on Sunday, and then on Monday, we're talking about 73 degrees on Monday, and when we're going into the fall by then. But that's the way it looks as far as the weather is concerned. I hope that wherever you are, that your weather is going to be fine for the weekend. I want to just a couple of things here and then go back to the phones and just give you an update. This is a package that we have this morning. I want you to stay with us up until 12 o'clock. After this particular program at 10 o'clock, we have a panel that basically will, Prudence Rose will be the master, that's sort of like the convener of this panel, letting you know what's going to happen next Friday at the job fair. We have a big job fair. I don't want you to miss this one, my son, brother. You know, any student, your son, daughter, niece, nephew, uncle, aunt, daddy, mama, anybody that really needs a job, this is the place to go. This is the place to go. We got 60 to 70 vendors that will be there. Amazon is going to be there. Amazon talking about hiring 50 people on the spot. By that means they can at least interview you and give you the next appointment. I'm just saying to you is that I want to make sure that we have something for everybody and that you can fit into the job rather than the job fitting into you. And so I'm just asking you to put it on your calendar from 9 to 3. Hoping we have some lunch there for you if you're going to be there all day. But we got people from around the city, metro area, just really, really working hard. And so from 10 to 11, we'll be talking about jobs. And again, Mrs. Rose will be the convener. And then from 11 to 12, we're talking about Women of Excellence. And Elizabeth Mays will be interviewing people who have been successful in that particular business, sponsored by the Michigan Chronicle here in the city of Detroit. And so again, trying to make sure that we work together. We are on Comcast 20, Comcast 91, and so on internet, WHPR.com, the internet. And so we are working together with RJ, working together with WGPR, and with Comcast. So I'm just asking you to be patient with us and work with us and stay with us and get the word out. We're talking about jobs, and we're talking about also giving inspiration to people who really looking for opportunity and want to know how in the world they can get to their business off the ground. And so those are the things that we're trying to do. We're so happy about the young people that was rewarded $1 million and the youth choir. And so it's just wonderful. And I'm just saying to you, there's so much good stuff that's going on around here in the city of Detroit. The other thing I just want to make sure that, again, that we have, I want you to know that there's a course at Wayne County Community College, a criminal justice course. And again, in 2 years, my sister, brother, you're talking about something like $48,000 to $52,000, and that's a person that basically has all kinds of positions in terms of criminal justice. And so I'm just saying to you is that that's one of the things I just want to make sure that you are aware of. And as I indicated, that I got this email from Amazon that's saying they're going to be at the job fair, and they're looking for 50 people, full-time people there. And then we got some jobs from Detroit City employment opportunities. We got building safety engineer, environmental department, looking for and accepting like building inspectors, boiler inspectors, electrical inspectors, elevator inspectors, mechanical inspectors, plumbing inspectors, office assistants, information technician, project manager, analytics specialist, supervising building supervisor. These are the kinds of, again, that the city is looking for, and they will be at the job fair. And again, it's sponsored by Wayne County Community College. And again, my sister and brothers, that we are talking so hard, trying to make sure that you understand there's a lot. There's at least 2 or 3 jobs for anybody in Detroit. But you just got to have a GED. You got to have some skill. You got to be able to have political literacy with computers and that kind of a thing. We got Fiat that's coming in next year, and talking about for Detroit, maybe 3,000 jobs. We got another, the people that basically builds the dashboard for Fiat. That's another plant that's coming into Detroit. They're hiring by 700 people, and so the jobs are going to be here. But you got to just understand that we got to get our sons and daughters and nieces and nephews off the couch and get them out and understand that this is not going to, opportunity just not going to knock on the door. You got to go and knock on the door of opportunity. And I'm just asking you, madam, please, sir, please, madam, do everything you can to make sure, because I'm telling you, this boom that's going on in Detroit is only going to be here for a short period of time. And we got to get our young people ready. Those young people in 11th and 12th grade, they got to make sure they stay in school. Make sure they stay in school. Make sure they get to the 12th grade. Make sure they graduate. And make sure they decide what they want to do, what skill, whether they want to go to, you don't have to go to college, but you're certainly going to have some skill. And I know the value that we have in the city of Detroit. We value education. We value education. I know that because that has not been one millage that we have not passed in my 50 years I've been here. And so I'm just saying to you is I know we value education, but somehow, some kind of way, something is missing. Something is really missing. And we got to get back to it to make sure that our young people understand. I'm working so hard to put together a school for kids that's 2.5 to 5.5 years old. I'm working so hard. Reverend, a school? Yes, a school, not a daycare, not just taking care of babies. But last night I was with the Indian Americans banquet, and they raised about $3 million, and all for education. And they started educating and working with their child before they're 2. Don't ask me how. I'm not Indian, but I'm just saying to you, I don't know. But that's what they said. They do. That's what they do. Education is so important to them. And the reason why, what got them from India to America is education. And what's going to get us out of poverty is education. I think it's Mandela who indicated that the only way we're going to be able to get out of poverty is education. I'm paraphrasing it. But I'm just saying to you, my son, brother, this is what it's really all about. And if I can pull off this school for kids, just 2.5 to 5.5, so when they get to the 1st grade, they can read. And they will have some understanding of French or Spanish when they get. That's my goal. That's my goal. And I'm asking God to give me health, strength, and all I need to do in order to try to make sure that indeed that we can't wait till they get to the middle school. Can't wait to get to high school to start working with them. Their reading, math proficiency. That doesn't make it, and it should not be acceptable by us. It should not be accepted by us, you know. And so when these unions goes to the table and talking about our kids and talking about pay, then I don't have no problem paying you, but and give you, and you deserve that and more. But let's do the job. Let's just do the job. And parents, you got to do your job. It's just not a teacher's job. It's all of our jobs. And somehow, some kind of way, we've got to get this thing together, else we'll forever be behind. If we're not careful, we'll forever be behind. And you know and I know, I keep telling you that the Hispanics will be in the majority. In about 15 years, they'll be in the majority, if not sooner. Whites will be a minority, and we'll be a minority up under the whites. So I don't know how do you do a sub-minority? Well, I don't know how you do that, but whatever it is, I'm just saying to you is that they have outnumbered us, and will be outnumbering us because this culture is different. Their culture is different. And so I'm just saying to you and I know you hear this, you get tired of me, and I keep saying it like a broken record, but I guess until you do better, I'll stop talking. I'll continue to talk this way. But I'm just saying to you I know how much we value education. I know that. As African Americans, the United Negro College Fund, that's how we do. But somehow, some kind of way, we got to make sure we just don't value it, but we participate in it. Just don't value it for other people, but making sure our children are participating in it. The parents can't go in there and jacking up teachers because they said something to your child, and the child wants to use the phone, and the teacher takes the phone, and you want to go up there and jack the teacher up and so forth. This has got to stop. This has just got to stop. I'm so happy about these young people that came in second, but when they came back to Detroit, they came in first because they got $1 million in endowment with the youth choir there. So again, I don't mean to get off on a soap opera with you on that, but I'm just saying to you that is where I am. And then let me just say this to you, because as I indicated to you, I owe this to you. I'm a police commissioner, and this is my second time being on the police commission board. I'm an appointee. I'm appointed by the mayor. I was not elected, and there are three of us, I think, 3 or 4 of us that are appointed. The rest of the people are basically elected. And when this thing comes down to facial recognition policy, I went to the command center and sit there for about an hour after they gave it to me, the tour. I went back in there and sit there and ask every question I could ask, and the police commissioner sent back the concerns that we had in regards to the facial recognition, to making sure my son brother that would not violate people's rights. And I understand how this, many of you don't like green light, but we need 5,000 people, 5,000 police officers in this city. We only have less than 3,000. And I'm just saying to you is that somewhere down the line, technology has got to make up for it, because it's cheaper than basically hiring 2,000 other police officers. In saying all of that, this is just me talking. And why I vote, and I said I owe this to you, and because I know that indeed, like I talked to Minister Malik Shabbat, I talked to him and tried to get an understanding, and he gave me what he felt like, and I wanted to make sure people like that basically have a real interest in this community. I don't ever want to violate that relationship that I have with this community. Doesn't mean that we agree on everything, but I just don't want to make sure I don't violate the relationship. The proposed policy for the use of facial recognition software will prohibit the use of facial recognition for surveillance. That's the first thing I want you to understand. It will prohibit the facial recognition for surveillance. So we will not be spying on anybody. Will not be spying on anybody. It bans the use of facial recognition on live stream or recorded videos. It cannot be used to identify a person for purpose of tracking them or identifying them. That's in the ordinance. That's in the ordinance. And what I'm trying to say to you is that I got 3 years to basically left on the board that basically will monitor this with the other commissioners. So again, I want you to know it will prohibit facial recognition for surveillance, and that it cannot be used to identify a person or for the purpose of tracking them or identifying them. So understand that. That's in the ordinance. They cannot do that. This is the other thing I wanted to make sure you understand, that the police commissioners got in there. It cannot be used at all for First Amendment events. No one can be identified at protest through the software. So it will not be used on First Amendment events. So if you're having a march or anything like that, it cannot be used for that. And it cannot be used in terms of helping ICE or helping to get through with immigration, illegal immigrants. So I'm just saying to you, it cannot be used for that. The software may only be used for still images of suspects in violent crimes or in home invasions. If you talk about homicide, if you talk about home invasions, the image will only be used for this purpose. Understand, my son, it's nothing more than a mugshot, a high-tech mugshot. That's the way I look at it. And that you, instead of having 6 on the page or 8 on the page, you got 180 on the page in terms of trying to figure out who does this person look like, or who is the person we're trying to identify, and who the people who are looking at this trying to identify the perpetrator of the crime. When there is a photograph, now watch this, when there's a photograph of someone who has broken into a home or committed a violent crime, the victim deserves to have the police department take appropriate measures to identify their attacker. That is the mission of the police department, and that is if somebody basically is in a homicide or assault or a home invasion, that the victim has a right to look and see if you can identify anybody that basically broke into your home or that assaulted you. And it's a mugshot. I just keep wanting to say that to you. The policy has the strongest possibility of penalty. This is what I want you to understand. This policy has the strongest possible penalty for any police department, a policeman, a police employee who violates these restrictions. If it's violated in any kind of way, I personally will be recommending their dismissal. If they violate anyone's rights, anyone's First Amendment rights, I will personally recommend to the chief that person will be dismissed from the police department. That's my commitment. I'm just saying to you is that termination of employment and review for possible criminal prosecution will be taken if the person violates this. So let me just say this again. It will be prohibited for recognition for surveillance. You know what I'm trying to say, surveillance. And then also it cannot be used for the purpose of tracking or basically identifying a person and cannot be used to identify a person for purpose of tracking them or identifying them. And it cannot basically violate the First Amendment, First Amendment events. We cannot use it when people are protesting and civil rights or any other rights, any other march. It cannot be used. And again, the software can only be used for image of suspects that's involved in violent crimes and home invasions. And I think you would want that. You would want that. If somebody assaulted you or assaulted your neighbor or broke into your house or your neighbor's house, you would want that. The point is, my sister and brother, there are restrictions in this ordinance that came before us. And so, in short, this is in short, this policy actually prohibits the use of facial recognition software by the Detroit Police Department for any type of surveillance purpose or provides heavy penalties for violators. No type of surveillance. You cannot spy on people. And I'm just saying to you, this policy restricts the use of facial recognition software. Let me just say this to you. This policy that restricts the use of facial recognition software. And understand myself, the state uses this. The police department, state uses this. You know, and so and now where it is, the councilperson McAllister came in and said they're going to have a hearing. They announced where it's going to be, and so that you can talk about it, because now the city council will get involved because they're the one that gave them the money to buy the equipment. So I'm assuming if they gave them the money to buy the equipment, it must be all right, you know? And I felt like basically it should have went through the city council and then to us, rather from us back to the city council. But that's not how it worked. And I'm just saying to you is that, and then of course the state can basically override what we're seeing in the city of Detroit. The state can override it and say that this will no longer be allowed. And so there is a place where you can basically appeal, and a city council is going to have a hearing. I don't know after the hearing what will they do, or what they can't put it on the ballot. They can do that. But I'm just saying to you is that again, I feel like with with the crime that's going on, how are we going to get this crime down if we don't get some help? And we're going to get some technology in here. And the thing about it, you just don't want to violate people's rights. That's the main thing. You at the expense of crime, you don't want to violate anybody's rights, civil rights. And so I'm saying to you is that you can't do it by surveillance. You can't do it in terms of tracking people and trying to basically spy on people. And you cannot basically use this for First Amendment events. And so if you're out there marching or something, it cannot be used for that. And if it is, if any of those three things I mentioned to you is violated, then there is the police department employee will be charged, and basically will be prosecuted to the full extent. And I'm just saying to you is that, and that's why we supported it, is because we had these safeguards in here. We got these safeguards in. Now, many of you came and said, well, we know Chief Craig is African-American, but you get a non-African-American in there and a racist, so all those kind of things. I mean, all those are spectacles, as things that you, that you don't want, and you just do everything you can to make sure something like that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying to you is that yes, other cities have turned it down, and understand we don't have to follow other people. People should follow us. Now, if it doesn't work, and if somebody violates it, then we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. The vote is in our hand. It's in our hand, not mine, but in our hand. And so I'm just saying to you, voted like about 8 to maybe 7 to 4 or something like that, or 9 to 4 or 9 to 3, whatever that number is. I'm just saying to you but when I looked at myself, nobody forced me or paid me or promised me something. Understand, my sisters and brothers, is that I understand I'm a grown man, and I have a right to think. I have a right to basically, but especially if I spend hours trying to work on this thing and make sure it's in the best interest of the community. And many of the people on the council did that, on the police board did that, not just me. Many of them did that. They tried to make sure that, and once the chief came back and put all these things in there that we wanted in there, we felt like indeed that we could support something like this, as long as it's not going to prohibit the use of facial recognition for surveillance, that would not indeed use to identify a person for the purpose of tracking or identifying them, and also for the First Amendment events, that they would not be used for that. And then the other thing, of course, is that anybody violates this, any police officer that violates this, even the chief, if he allows it to be violated, is subject to penalty. And so I'll take your calls. Call you in touch. How are you this morning?
Hey, Reverend Holley, this is Deputy Chief.
Fine. How are you, buddy?
Good,
okay.
Good. Hey, your show was, I don't know if it's your show or my equipment, but it's fading in and out. So I'd just like to give my contact information.
Okay.
It's Detroiters United, LLC, 313-399-8290, Reginald Amos, Deputy Chief Amos. And the purpose is to have the business community come out to our call to action October 5th at Mary Grove College from 2 to 5, and let them explain what's going on with the Avenue of Fashion Construction, the problems that they're having over there, and we'd like to hear their solution. Right. Because we like to hear their solutions and why they're not fighting for themselves.
All right. The other thing, I just got the email.
Okay.
Where the mayor's going to be somewhere on a particular day next week, and I'm going to be there to see if I can get a moment to ask him about the liver noise. Okay.
Okay, that'd be great.
So I just see where he's at on that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I say, ask him the question, how is it that black business owner have to get a loan and the white business owner get grants, subsidies, and tax abatements?
Yeah. Well, they just indicated on my, the other thing I want you to know that my monitor indicates that on my side, the internet is perfect.
Okay.
So I may check yours, but on my side, I'm looking at the internet now.
Okay.
And it makes look me better than I thought I looked.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Caller, you've been very patient. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Just fine. Thank you for calling.
Reverend Holley.
Yes.
Now, you're a man of wisdom, and I know you know better. I know you know better. I know you know that the citizens of this city have spoken. And you don't need a reason why to do what you're doing because you're not being paid or all of that. You're a man of wisdom and a man of God. You know better. This is a black city, and you also know that many states turned it down. And the citizens spoke that they didn't want it. And if it was so great, why did 3 of you guys turn it down? The chief know he jumped the gun on this. He went ahead and made his own decision along with the council, who has a gag order on their mouth, and they're not doing a good job at running the city. We don't want that here. And then since when do the police officers stay intact when they're told not to do something? They have always been, it's a lot of police brutality against black people here. And then don't give me that line of mess about what the rules are, because don't no officers, no people in law follow the rules when it comes to black folks. Now you're going to pay for this one, because ain't no church going to be able to guard you from this, because you need to be gone. You need to retire, and the rest of them up there too. You need to retire. You were wrong, and you know you're wrong. And I'm going to leave that to you and God. You was wrong.
All right.
And you can try to sum it up any kind of way you want it. You can read off all that old fake mess that you're reading off. But black folks know the stress that they're under. And at a time like this, in this season, with this administration, you got to be kidding me.
Okay.
You can't fool nobody with that one. You are the chief, and you were appointed, so ain't no need for you to get no pay. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you. Called you in touch. How are you this morning? Yes.
Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you doing?
Just fine.
Yeah, listen, now, you know, this technology was taken to China by the corporations in this country. Google took that technology there. And the technology, have you seen the technology in China?
No, ma'am.
Where everybody, they surveil everybody. When you walk up to a corner, your database that comes up there to have your name, address, all kind of pertinent information about you. Look at the data. They can tell you that because you know what? You don't understand technology. They tell you not to turn your cell phone off here because your cell phone is a tracker. It has a tracking mechanism inside your $30 cell phone. So you don't understand the technology. And they can, just like the previous guy, they can tell you that. But if I'm standing next to a bank robber, I'm an innocent person, and all of my information can be pulled up on a database. They are collecting database, and you just don't understand. They should have, just like I said with that city council. You all are ignorant. People can come and tell you all anything. If you are not a techie, you don't understand the information that they are collecting on us. And how many people have misidentified people, mistaken identity, Reverend? How many people are sitting in jail under mistaken identity where people have said this was that person and it wasn't? I mean, this is a no-brainer. Well, why isn't this being done for suburbanites? Why Detroiters? I have never been arrested. And this was wrong. And you all should have, if they anything, they should have sent you all. If American companies invented the technology, they know how far they can go with it. You can't allow people to pick your brain like this and tell you this is not going to happen. That's not true. That is just absolutely, it is not true. You all did not get enough information. The technology is in China, and our, like I said, our tech companies took it there. And you just have absolutely no idea and not enough information. When I say ignorant, you haven't examined enough information about the technology that they're using and how it can be misused. And just innocent people, innocent young black males who look alike, got the same Detroit Lions shirt on, and all of this. Your cell phone, rather, if anything happens right now, they can pick you up right now with your cell phone. And this technology that they're talking about is much more advanced than the cell phone. You know, the first thing they ask for you at a car, if you have an accident, the first thing the police ask for, give us your cell phone. Because your cell phone tells us at a car accident whether or not you were talking on the phone. So this is very powerful technology that they're talking. You all should not have approved something that you know absolutely nothing about.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. And this is totally wrong. And you know, this is what's wrong. You have a city council who are supposed to be very intelligent people and not allow the mayor and the police chief to bring BS to them and tell them it's okay, everything's beautiful, this is nice. It's not. No, it's not. That's not true. That is not true. You need more information. You need more information. This is technology that was invented here in the United States, taken to China, and you see what communist China is doing with against their people. Right. This is wrong. Right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you know, and a lot of people that came to the meeting were very emotional, as you are, and others came in basically emotional for it as well. But let me just say to you, you know, I'm not going to say that I am a Google. I'm not a specialist in technology. I just know that basically I can Google you up right now, and know by as much as I want to know about you, what your background and what your work and where you stay and everything, and that's there now. And I'm just saying to you is that again I indicated to you that there are things that is prohibited by the police department to do, and again the other thing about it is if you feel like that, then the city council has a right to put it on the board, or put it take it to the community. If you feel that way, you know, if you're really that emotional about something that already, and when you start talking about China, understand why China has surveillance on their people, because it's basically a communist country, and so here in this country here, again, that there is prohibit use of this technology, and if you basically don't do it right, then obviously I've indicated to you there is penalties that's there. But it's contradiction. You're contradicting yourself from the thing of what you're saying, that I don't know nothing about technology. At the same time, you're telling me that my phone does this, my phone does that, my television does that, and all of this kind of thing, and it's already here. It's already here. And all I'm indicating to you is that this is a mugshot. That's what it is. It's a high-tech mugshot, and where a person walks in and says, see if you can identify the person that you feel like was assaulted you, or was in this homicide, or in this home evasion. Can you identify that person? And you've got basically 180 people up there to try to winnow it down to see whether or not it is a person. Now, the person may look like, I may look like one of those people. It often happens. But you said also that there are many people in jail because they was mistakenly identified, and that's without the technology. So, I mean, whether you have it or not, people will get, from time to time, there will be something like that. But at some point or another, I'm just saying to you is that you put things in place, and what it is, for the most part, you guys just don't trust the police department. You don't trust us. There's a trust factor there. There's a trust factor there. But tell that 250 people that died last year about their family. What do you say to them? How do you find out who that person, who the person committed that crime? You know, to talk to them. We talk to them. And I'm just saying to you, and people come every Thursday talking about the fact is that they don't have justice. They don't have justice. They don't have justice. And police officers can't be everywhere at the same time. They cannot. Only God can be everywhere at the same time. Nobody else can be there everywhere at the same time. And so you have this technology there, but you got to make sure that it's put in the right hands and that you have something in place to make sure that when people violate it, there's somehow some kind of way that you will be able to penalize them or prosecute them. And so I'm just saying to you is that I understand that. But to say that I probably know just as much as any average person does about this. But you go, I can Google up where I grew up in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, and the house is still there, 412 the street, right there, and it goes up. Tell me where I lived when I was growing up as a boy. It tells you where the school I was at. It tells you everything. It tells you how much money I make, how much money, I mean, all that stuff. Where was I? I mean, I'm just saying to you is, this is it. You can fight technology if you want to, that's fine. But I'm telling you that, again, it cannot be used for spying. It can't be used for basically for tracking people, and it can't be used for First Amendment events. And if they do this, it would basically will be a penalty for that, and the police officer will be prosecuted for that. And what else can you say? So if you feel that way, tell your city council person. All of us can't be dumb. All of us can't be stupid. All of us can't be what you say we are. I'm just saying, then talk to it, and then have them to put it on the ballot. If you feel like that, you feel that wrong, go out and put a petition and put it on the ballot. Do that. If you feel that way, that's the thing about this country is, if you disagree with this, there is another step that you can go to get what you want, or at least attempt at what you want. But to say this, the State Department already uses it. They already uses it. And for somebody to say that the people in the city have already said they didn't want it, where was that at? There's been no vote on that. That's what you are saying. That's the people you talk to. I'm not being just unkind or adversary. I'm just saying to you is that you got to make sure that we understand and we're talking and got the facts together. And so again, I say to you again, I owe that to you, and I knew I would get much of what I'm getting, and let's understand that's part of it. It comes with the territory. I understand that. I'm not mad at nobody. But I'm saying if you don't like what I voted for, there's another step process. And the city council is getting ready to have another hearing about this. And if you don't, and then ask us, since he's going to have it, and he gave them the money to do it, and so then go put it on, tell me to put it on the ballot. If you want to know what the city really feels about it, put it on the ballot. and then see if that's what it is. But there is a way that basically we can see what the city really wants. We just felt like, based upon the fact is that these violations that will be in this document, we have a right to have a review and the oversight of this and making sure it's used right. And if it's not used right, then indeed that person will be dealt with. It's 14 minutes to the hour. Again, for those of you just joining us, we have this big job fair coming up on next Friday. And I ask that you stay with us. We've got a panel in here to talk about the jobs, what kind of jobs it's going to be. You want to put the money, get your pencil and paper down and try to make sure it's all free. We've got lunch for you and all this kind of thing. But I'm just telling you, expungement, lawyers will be there. We'll just want to make sure that indeed you get a chance to talk to vendors. We got Amazon that will be there. There's so many people calling, and because they're hiring. They're hiring. And I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, that with this $9 billion investment that's going on in this city, we got to be part of it. I'm going to take the time and set up for the second part of this basically what we're doing for this package, the second part of the package. And then at 11 o'clock, we're talking about women of excellence with Elizabeth Mays, working together with RJ and Tyler, Henry Tyler, and trying to make sure that as we work together, that somehow, some kind of way, we can do internet and television and serve the community, which is what we're trying to do. We'll be right back.
Detroit.